So I really had no idea what to expect.
Right, so that maybe I might end up having to face off with some, with a Republican from the Central Valley or something.
Right, and actually I did.
God bless you.
Thank you.
The person who I was meeting with, he was in opposition to SR7. And went into his office and saw his secretary. She wasn't even expecting us and asked if we could meet with the staffer, and there were no staffers available. She made it very clear to us that he would be, the senator would be voting against the resolution. So I was very happy to come with these folks to a supportive meeting.
Was it going in there and having to explain why we're here and should be voting against it? Was it kind of freaky?
Yeah.
Was it sort of strange? And like, did you want to say more? Or
we wanted to say more, but there was no forum. Clearly
right.
we could do a forum.
Right.
Especially after she made it clear, she said that Mr. Swenston would be voting no on the resolution because he believes we were asking to be a woman. Where do you go from there? She's the secretary.
Right. Who was it? The senator? And okay. That was brave of you.
Oh, District 4.
Where do you live?
I live in Olivehurst,
Okay.
California. It's like by Marysville, about 40 minutes from here.
Are you 28?
I'm 29.
And so what made you decide to do this today? If you hadn't really, had experience of lobbying.
Ever since Prop 8 passed, the day after Prop 8 passed, there was a march in the streets of Sacramento where people came out to, it was supposed to be a candlelight vigil, but it turned into a rally. And it was so empowering for me to be a part of that. And I've always felt like I've wanted to do something, to speak out, to make a difference. And so when this opportunity came up, I signed it right away. When I got here today, I was thinking, what have I got myself into, what am I doing? It's kind of freaky, but it's been a great experience.
I think I'd be scared if I had to go in there. I couldn't hide behind my notepad.
Yeah.
I actually had to put myself on the line.
And again,
You're
it's
asking
a personal,
people for something.
And it's a personal issue. It's not, and so people can get emotional on both sides. And I felt some pretty strong emotion from the secretary.
Oh, I'm fine. Advice. This is from back in his office.
For sure.
Thank you. Are you guys supposed to go talk to anyone else, or is
We're
it almost time?
We're done.
We have a
Okay.
debrief thing
Okay.
after this.
And so you've been, so you said you've been doing
Oh, you should.
before.
Film.
Please don't film me. Anyway, so you've been some issues before.
AIDS
Do you feel pretty
issues and-
comfortable with the different ways that things go over?
No, because you don't know how it's going to go. And
Right.
and actually, the last person that we visited Gloria Romero's office, and we had an appointment, and they didn't have anybody to speak to us. And so it wasn't that she wasn't supportive; it was just that they didn't honor their appointment.
Right.
And fortunately, before we left, one of the staff members came out and said, "Hey, I couldn't help but overhearing. I'll listen to you." And fortunately, when she realized that we weren't lobbyists, that she was able to open up and spend more time with us, and that we were actually her constituents. And so, it's really important that these legislative members hear from their constituents and hear about what's going on in their lives and how their decisions really impact them. And because not only do they care about their constituents, but hearing our stories is the ammunition that they use. They can throw around numbers, but if they say, "Hey, Army is going to be affected by this," Army Cachero, that's my name. If Army Cachero is going to be affected by this, then I can't do this. I can't.
You're the plumber,
Exactly, and it's just to show how I'm an American and I'm an Angelino and I really deserve my rights because I pay my taxes and I'm a productive member of society.
I'm impressed that the two of you came up from so far.
Hey, I'm 31, and so when I was growing up, I felt like I missed out on all the rights movements. I felt like I missed out on the women's lib. I felt like I missed out on both sexual revolutions, both straight and gay. I felt like I missed out on the civil rights movement. I felt like I missed out on the AIDS movement. So when I was growing up, I felt like, I had missed out on all these great movements, and I was really trying to be part of socio-political change, and this is really the time to be part of it. And so anybody who's not taking advantage of being a part of this movement is going to be 20 years from now going, why didn't I help? Why didn't I step in and make sure that this happened sooner? And part of the biggest problem right now is that when I'm talking to older gays and lesbians, they're saying, oh, the younger generation, they were voting against it. So wait, you want to wait 20 years for the younger generation to be in their 40s? What do you want? I'm not willing to wait 4 years for me to get my rights. I need them now. Everybody needs them now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 57 and I have been part of all of those other movements that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be another movement that emerges, a cause for human rights and for justice and for progressive issues. And so I was out on the streets when I was 17, 18 years old about the war in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And here I am 40 years later, and it's like an issue.
I don't know. It seemed like there was a lull.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was. During the Reagan years, we all got complacent or whatever.
Where I moved to AIDS.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean, at least in my era, it didn't seem like during the Clinton era, there wasn't a protest.
I was out on the streets.
You
We
were?
backed up, you betcha.
And then with Bush, it was all really the war. So, being part of a civil rights movement that really is affecting us here now today, and that is way long overdue. I mean, in many ways, when we talk about Harvey Milk, I feel like that the gay rights movement that should have really plowed through from Stonewall all over the country ended at these roadblocks, and it's a shame that those proponents didn't keep going.
Yeah, because, Prop 6 was 30 years ago, and we won by a big margin.
Yeah.
And then,
When even Dan White, the largest
But then-
gay rights ever.
but then AIDS happened, and
Yeah.
that took a lot of the wind out of the sails of the movement,
Yeah.
as well as taking people away from us. But it's like, appropriately, that's where a lot of our energy is to take care of
Yeah.
AIDS and the whole, to try and get funding and all that. That was what was important at
Well,
that time.
and to be fair, the people that we're fighting now used AIDS back then to their advantage.
Right.
And
right.
so the wind out of our sails was on both sides. We were dealing with dying, and they were using it as a tool to say, "See, look."
This is what happens.
Yeah, which was grotesque of them to do.
Really well.
Excuse me.
all right.
I was looking up at them earlier in the lobby. They didn't want me in the room with them, so I did find another group to look up.
I'm Army Cachero.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
What's your first name?
Army.
Army, very nice.
Yeah.
I'm Sonnie Swenston. Nice to meet you.
This is the group of interesting names.
Yes.
Well, we went in to see Hernandez, and he said that he's willing to sign on as a COA. So
Yes.
and I think this
Yes.
very good thing.
And during the debriefing, we'll talk about the ACA initiative that he's going to put forth. So,
She's thinking.
and that he wants our help with.
Right.
But she was very,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a word about,
But it went till 3 o'clock, so.
And